You ready?
Yes. Yes, I'm ready, I guess.
We need one
Maybe.
of those clapperboard things. Get on that. Five, four,
Your
three,
dad's
two.
the one that makes that stuff, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Hi. This is Positively Entertaining Conversations with Guru Brando and occasionally, sometimes, curious guests. I say occasionally, sometimes, because it's not just sometimes anymore. Now it's occasionally, because I've had you each on more than twice. So now it has to be occasionally and sometimes. Now I'm just gonna make the title of the show longer and longer, like each month. And so you'll be able to date it by title length. You'll be like, oh no, that's like
Occasionally,
first
sometimes, once in
season.
a while,
Yeah, it's
on
just
a
gonna keep
fortnight.
going. Well, because that's how we like to roll in the South. We just add stuff. We'll just keep going. There's Billy Bob, Jimmy Joe. We do that with names and such. All right. So today's show, I had said last time that people had questions,
Yes.
and I told people to ask questions. Well, people asked some questions.
Honestly, I forgot. I didn't even think anybody asked any
Well,
questions.
because nobody really cares.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, because the whole premise of this show is to kind of getting to know yourself. Not just us, but having questions for yourself. So I'm hoping that people are concentrating less on us and more on themselves. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying? So, are you ready? The first question. Now, I am not going to divulge any names or anything like that, but I am going to ask the question, and I'm going to let Beth respond first, and then I'll respond. It's go for Beth. How have y'all made it work for 18 years? And they did go on further with 18 years with 4 kids and all these tragedies throughout our individual lives and transitions. So it's both. So how have y'all made it work for 18 years? Because last show I said we'd been married 18 years.
Yeah. Well, I think our life has been kind of an adventure. Um, adventure's not always fun, but we've had have such a solid thing that we've built, over the years that
Don't trail off.
I'm not trailing.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, to answer that, it's
How have y'all made it work for 18
I don't
years?
know. I've just always been all in.
So dedication.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that dedication to you?
Um.
You're gonna bump the mic.
Oh.
You need to stop doing that. What's the dedication? Where does it come from, and what's it about?
I guess it's. I mean, we have children, and ever since we had kids, it was the changes began, and as far as how I was thinking, and since they were sort of the priority, I don't want to raise them to be shitheads. Like, I mean, my parents didn't raise a shithead, but I've definitely had some shithead moments. Can I say
Apparently, you could say that. It's funny because you're the one that told me no swearing,
shithead?
don't swear, and then you were the first one to say it.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at
I did
least
that.
at least you say it super quietly, so maybe the mic didn't, you know. Because I'm not about editing this. In case y'all didn't know, I don't edit these. I just kind of put them together and put them out there, so y'all get like the content, everything
It's
that we say.
the family to me is has always been a big priority, and it's not something that I would ever be able to easily just I don't like the way it's going. I'm out.
Okay, so what I heard you say was your dedication comes from the idea of family. And
Yeah,
the idea of family and the idea that you want your family to be well.
yeah. I mean, my family was broken, and I don't want my family now to be broken like it was when I grew up.
Okay, so that then became that example of no land.
Yeah.
So you had a really great example of poor dedication.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, point fingers at
Well,
who's
no,
who, but
no, no,
yeah,
no,
absolutely, that's true. I mean,
but
if they're
because there's two paths.
yeah, and if their dedication was higher, then it wouldn't have gone the way it did.
Okay, now, if you say that and you say that you owe your dedication to the example, the poor example that other people have set for you, right?
Yes.
You learned how to be a better example. How? Where did you learn it? Where did you learn dedication from?
Um, the funny thing is
You got to speak up, seriously.
I think that um, a lot of it came from being in the army. My first stint in the army, the only thing that the army really gave me that I needed was something to fight for. And so now I see my family as something to fight for.
So now you value your family as opposed to really valuing kind of your um, career. And that happens as we get older and we get a family and all that. So you followed a very natural pattern of, I guess, belief structure. But you followed that natural pattern of beliefs, your family belief structure, of finding yourself, getting married, and having kids. Now, if you couple that with just the turmoil that you've had, how did you work through that, the dedication? Because they want to know kind of the
Oh,
intricacies.
well, that's
So,
simple. Whenever anybody has, well, I guess in my experience, whenever I have something that I don't want to deal with, I turn my entire focus to something that I think deserves my energy better.
and
And even if it's healthy for me or not, it's just a matter of I just don't want to deal with it right now.
so you do the avoidance and distraction technique.
Yep.
Yeah, whereas
And
I just do flat out denial. I'm just like, what? That doesn't exist. There's no problem here. It's just a flesh wound.
yeah, something uh, typically if there's something that I'm avoiding, there's something in my life that's going to get a lot of dedication because it's like I'm purposely walking around it.
So then, should I be offended that I was basically that sort of like a relationship rebound? You know, when you need something else, then you get that, whether it was or not. The end result sometimes can be the same. It's like, do you marry for love initially? Are you in love with the person and you get married, and then you go on about your merry way, or do you like the person and get married? And then you love the person, and we watch those
Um,
shows, so we have,
yeah, for me it was I liked the person, then I loved the person, then we got married.
yeah. So my part of that is, I don't think we do make it work. What I think that we do is we work it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
every day.
and that's the hard truth, is as much
Oh,
crap
it's a
as
very
we've
hard
gone through.
truth.
Because the thing that people forget, or sometimes don't even know about us, sometimes people only know that we're trans, and sometimes people don't know that we're trans, but sometimes it's the only thing. So aside from that, when we were married, we lived at Fort Bragg when we were, married a few years ago.
Yeah,
we I can't look at it as a long time ago,
it
because
wasn't.
it was a long time ago.
What?
It was 2012, right?
No, 2014. That's when
Your
we.
last deployment
No, my last deployment was in
was 2000.
2008.
Oh, 2008. So see,
We left Germany in 2012 to come back to Fort Bragg.
okay, so your last deployment 2008, that really was one of the biggest struggles that we had.
Well,
Was
yeah, that one was a doozy. It was 15 months.
It was a
Yeah.
long time, and not to mention, I got pregnant midway.
Yeah.
Whenever you can. Actually, it wasn't midway. It was further, because you took the last kind of
Yeah.
slot.
He was born right
yeah.
after, right before I got. No, right after I got home.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
about to
so
say,
I got
after
home and
you
then
came
he was
home for
born.
R&R, and thank goodness that you got those few extra days, right? You got the
Yeah,
few extra
that's
days,
what it was.
and that's when it happened. So, part of that time, we were expecting, and what sucked was I went to Green Ramp to welcome you home, and I'm huge pregnant and I have the two little kids and it's like 3 in the morning and we're there and it's the sea of people and we're trying to flag you down and you had left your phone on the plane. So this is another way how we make it work. Lots of reminders. That's
I was
because
so upset about that.
well, okay, so lots of reminders because especially whenever you marry someone who is kind of equal to your emotional maturity. Um, your experiences are kind of the same. You've had same traumas, tragedies, stuff like that. Whenever you get married to someone on your level and you stay at that level, typically that person stays at that level with you and y'all stay stuck. We did a really cool thing. Whereas, because your example that you learned about um, dedication came from a poor example and you made it a better example, hold on.
Yes.
With me, it was the opposite. With me, dedication is what I knew. It's the only thing I knew. And I knew dedication because my dad is the most dedicated person I've ever seen in my life. And my mom, she's pretty dedicated too. She stuck to anything that she started.
Yeah.
And so throughout my life, dedication was it. There's nothing else.
They were. I mean, my parents were individually dedicated, I guess. They just weren't dedicated together.
Yeah, my parents weren't dedicated together other than the effort. And that's kind of two different things because you have the devotion of effort, you have the devotion of time, and they had the time in. It's kind of like time and grade. So, if you rate it like that, you can have the time in to where you say, I'm devoting time to you. I'm going to marry you and have time with you for eternity, right? But you don't have to devote the effort it takes. You can just be there and you can go through the motion, but you don't have to devote effort. That is what takes the real dedication, is the effort. Time, everybody has time. And usually it's selfish time. Oh, I want to get married so I can have kids. Oh, I want to get married so I can finally be stable. I want to get, regardless of the reason, the end remains the same. You're going to have a partner.
Yeah.
But for how long? That's why you want both of the devoted partners to be devoted to the same things, to the time and the effort, right? And I think you and I both have been dedicated to the effort and the time. And I don't think that I ever viewed it as an option to get divorced, no matter what. Even though we had brought it up before, we brought it up as a relief, as
Yeah.
how we were viewing it at that time, because we've been kind of black or white a lot.
Yes.
And especially together, you have two people with PTSD, and one person with severe anxiety and one person with severe depression, and you're like, it's tough. And
Definitely can be.
so the devotion has to stay there. But you were devoted to me long before the kids came along, because what you brought up was, the kids came along and that furthered your devotion. But the initial devotion was what? Why did you initially devote energy, effort, and time to me?
Well, we were buddies.
We were buddies. But, oh, look at that. And it's Alex. Oh. Hey, we're recording. So, what's up?
And then I'm at Tom's house right now, and he's gonna finish his paper, and then there's the boys tonight. But like right now, I don't know. Like if I do feel like I can go, I'll wear my mask the whole time because I'm getting weary about this.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. You will wear your mask, and I would prefer that you not go, especially this close to the holidays, but I trust you. I know that you'll remain safe. Okay, so just let us know, but I'm going to get back to the
All right.
people here because you're talking to them right now.
Okay.
Tell them thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. And tune in next week, especially. turn in Tuesday, Thursday for positively entertaining conversations with Guru, Brando, and sometimes curious guests.
Yeah.
Thank you. This has been A.
Yeah, okay, good job. And you screwed up. It's Thursday. It'll
That's
be.
what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Love you. Be careful. Be safe. Be wise. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Okay, so I forgot to mute my phone. Wow. Shame on me. And I'm not going to do it now. Okay, what was I even saying? Was I talking about devotion, energy, effort? Oh, what what made you initially devote the energy and effort? And you said that we were buddies.
Yeah, we're like, I guess thick as thieves would be the.
But we did a lot of drinking.
Yeah. Yeah,
We did a lot of drinking and a lot of other probably not so great things that we shouldn't talk about on here. Look, it makes me want to vape. Don't vape, people, just because I do it. Look, I'm hiding it. You got to talk to him whenever I'm not vaping. Okay. So seriously, we had a whole lot of bad habits that we were still on that level together. And what I think, like I said, that we work it. We don't make it work. We work it, but we work it being aware and honest at all times, regardless of what it is. I'm very good at expressing myself and communicating. And you're working on it and you're getting better at it. And I feel like that's helped tremendously for us to go through all these struggles that we've gone through. We've gone through deployments, we've gone through births, deaths. We had a miscarriage. We have moved repeatedly every 2 years, the military. We had to keep up a top secret clearance, which, in case y'all don't know, when you have kids and you're young and you're moving and you have to get loans and you have to, do all this other crap. Plus, I was married before, and so I had those, and we had people who lived in other countries, our friends. And so, yeah, it was not easy keeping that top secret clearance at all. It's a whole lot of work, but we did it. So we had all these challenges, and that's all outside of the challenges that we had independently with ourselves. So I think we've done pretty good as long as we grow at the same rate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't grow at the same rate and you leave the other one behind, you say, oh, I'm out for me for too long, and the other partner's left flapping, then they can find a different path. They don't have to travel with you anymore. If you choose to leave someone behind, it is their option to stay behind or to go with you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
True story.
And we had that conversation before. Look, I'm done with this crap. And that's what we said, those divorce conversations. But a divorce conversation doesn't have to be about divorce. It can be about difference, avoidance, all those awful things that you don't want to talk about. If you hear the word or you say the word divorce, just know that it means there's trouble in paradise and that you need to talk about it. But you got to talk honestly without hostility, and then it works. You don't make it work. It just works. You got to sometimes give it up. So, question 2.
Wow, that was one question.
That was. What was the most humiliating realization you have had within our relationship? Because that's what this was talking about. So, in regards to our relationship, what's the most humiliating realization you've had?
Oh, gosh.
There's like a million we can name about ourselves. And it can be about yourself, but how did it involve, us in general? I have to get comfortable.
I mean, when it comes to
Okay, I'll answer.
Yeah, go ahead, help me out here.
That that we were shitty parents.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
is
can
the
agree with
most
that.
embarrassing.
I can look
That
back and
we
cringe.
that we were immature, like immature beyond our age.
But
Immature.
I like that I can see that's the way we
Yeah,
were,
but that's
because then that's the way we were,
right. That's
not the
the
way we are.
question. Exactly. Yeah, because if you can identify it as a struggle, you're no longer a victim. So it's all about identifying the struggles, and one of the struggles, it's silly. One of the struggles that I have is that I can't hear very well, and that's why
Oh,
I'm always saying, "Oh, you got a bug in your coffee."
no, it's empty.
Oh.
Shut up.
But I can't hear very well, and that's why I'm really loud too. But because I can't, it really does affect how we can communicate, and when it affects that, it's humiliating for me. So, for me, hands down, the most humiliating thing is realizing how crappy of parents we are, especially considering that I couldn't hear so much of the crap that was going on. And so I was responding not to what was being said, but I was responding to behavior because I just sometimes couldn't hear it. And I was too ashamed to say I can't hear. Can you speak up? I would just acknowledge. And it wasn't until my dad moved in that I realized that I really was doing that because I just can't hear sometimes. And a lot of the dialogue that I can't hear is dialogue that would have been useful at the time. And so I guess in admitting that I can't hear very well, I'm also, saying, okay, it has affected the family because I react in a way that's not a responsible, not always a responsible way.
Yeah. Well, we always want to be our best selves, and I think that's who we are in that moment.
That's pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like ego, pride, and I'm humbled. I'm not gonna lie. I'm humbled because I have missed important conversations
And
when
yeah.
all I had to do was say, "Hey, what did you say, Beth?" Because I may not hear those little pleasantries because I can barely hear you sitting right here next to me like this when you speak quietly. So how the hell do I know if you're saying something nice or not?
Well, if I hold up fingers,
That's messed up. But our relationship is what was making us shitty parents.
yeah.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to get at is because I wasn't being fully honest because of something that I was saying is shameful. No different than you being closeted for so long, because you felt shame around it. Whenever you finally were honest about it, then you could start doing something about it. And so now I'm trying to do something about it. And I think that in doing that, it has made me a better partner and therefore a better parent.
Well, this is definitely an easier journey when we're both going through it.
Yeah. I
Not
guess.
just one outsider and one insider.
Yeah, and we don't really talk about that because to us, we don't think about, oh, we're going through the same thing. We can share it with each other because we don't really think about it as going through
Yeah,
anything.
we're just everyday like
Yeah,
anybody
it's
else.
like we're normal people. It's we don't have this like calendar that says transition
Yeah.
days. And sometimes we even forget our duly appointed traniversaries.
Yeah.
And when we do, and it's important that we keep those sacred just because it shows our progress. But I don't know. I think I believe that if you're honest, deliberate, and you always stick on the same path with each other, like you check in with each other and you make sure that you're both still headed in the same direction.
Yeah.
I think that that's what is the best part about parenting.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that you can be an effective two-parent household if you're fighting, or if
No,
you're
if you're at odds with each other all the time.
yeah. And
No.
so one question just happened to go into the other. But there's nothing against just single family household or single parent households either,
No.
because you've had experience with that too, with your mom
Yeah,
being a single parent.
you gotta have your stuff together. That I know.
Yeah, well, you've got to be able to still communicate and get along. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Regardless if you're a two-parent household or a single-parent household, there's still two parents.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully, unless one of them has gone. But you know, even if there's not the two-parent household, you still have to maintain a relationship with yourself, and you have to maintain a relationship with others in order to have your child grow and learn, be an effective parent. Because sometimes parents need help.
Oh yeah, God.
And
Constantly.
even the single parents need help, even whenever they're strong and resilient, they need help. I needed help as a single parent when you were deployed. Unfortunately, I didn't have a whole lot of it, from family. They were scattered, but I had a lot of help from the military community.
Yes.
So that was good. And so I just think that being good partners makes good parents. We have one more. Let's see if we can do it quick. Probably not. Do y'all compare tragedies?
Try not to.
I used to. I used to think that Beth's trauma and tragedies were so more intense than mine. I viewed mine as everyday typical tragedies that every single person goes through. And it wasn't until I started going through therapy that I realized that that's not the truth, that I'd been lying to myself all this time, that some of the crap that happens to me doesn't happen, or that happened to me doesn't happen to everybody. I just assumed that all women got raped. I assumed that all children got abused and neglected. I just assumed that because I knew that you had tragedies too, and they were parallel to mine. And so, and my ex, same deal. And so, I guess when I realized that everybody has crap, yes, and the severity of people's crap ranges, it's what you do with that unites you. In other words, we could have remained victims,
Yeah, we totally could.
but neither one of us did, right? And in comparing our stories, I think we each realized that individually. So, although we compare tragedies, we compare them in a sense that I'm empathetic to your struggle.
Yeah, and we're not quantifying severity.
Yeah, no, because holy crap. I don't know how I would be able to handle some of the things that you had gone through.
Likewise.
Yeah. So and people always wonder if we literally know everything about each other, because not only have we been married forever, but because we each have lived in the other's shoes, so to speak. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. You're a stay-at-home mom now, and
Love it.
I can't say the same thing. I absolutely did not love being a stay-at-home parent. Before we even got married, I said, look, I can never be a stay-at-home parent. I have no intention on it. I'm going to work forever, and you're just going to have to do whatever. And it didn't work. It didn't work. Not in Texas, and it didn't work with our mindset then. But
Yeah. I'm enjoying it now. I have my routines that I have to go through, things that need to be done, chores and so on and so forth. But I really enjoy it because, it's taking care of our home.
I think now we compare more triumphs than tragedies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
6
I'm
credits away from
always better
graduation.
than you. I'm always better than you. I always triumph very victoriously because I have that thing that I just talked about, whereas you have avoidance, I have denial. So I just deny altogether that the tragedies exist, and I just go with what I know, you know. I've learned a lesson out of absolutely every single tragedy that I've had.
No,
And I don't always see it right away, but
well,
it's
I
true.
think like any situation that a person is subjected to, it reaches a level of normalcy after a while, and so you just kind of come to expect it over time. You know, if you have a pattern of tragedy in your life, then
Yeah, kind of
it's
like the cycle of partners. You know, you have the same type partner
and just kind of
until you
get
stop the
locked.
process.
Yeah, you get locked into that mindset, and until you step outside yourself and be like, oh, let's figure something out because this is bullshit.
Again with
Uh,
you, Cussy
Sorry, I didn't
Cusserton.
say it.
Oh, you said
I
it.
almost said it, but I did
Oh,
not.
you said it.
No,
It
I
was
didn't.
there.
Did not.
Y'all can tell her it was there. Anywho's. Okay,
Whispering.
well, I think we're done. We answered those 3 questions. And ask us more questions, and at some point I'll do another show with Beth, and we can answer those questions. But you can ask the kids questions. You can ask me questions. You can ask. We have 3 dogs if you want to ask them questions. But really, I just want to be able to help people gain perspective on maybe things that they're going through or that they've gone through. So if you have a question about that, maybe we can talk about that if we have an example, because you know, I have a boy, I have a girl, I have a wife, I have a dog. I kind of have run the gamut of what anyone may need help with. So I guess Thursday. Thursday. That won't be pizza night. I'm a little sad. It'll be turkey night. But I'm a vegetarian. So it's going to be tofu turkey.
You stuffed the turkey with pizza rolls.
Oh my God. It is pizza night. Okay, see, y'all got to check in on Thursday. So you'll have to watch
No, we're not
Thursday's
doing that.
episode to see exactly what I forced my wonderful, loving, endearing wife to do for Thanksgiving. She's cooking the meal this year, most of the meal, but she usually cooks the turkey. It's all the other crap. We're making the teens cook too. So it's going to be a very interesting Thursday's episode. It probably is going to be late. I'm just going to put that out there. But we're going to shoot for the same 8 o'clock slot. And so talk to us on Thursday. I don't know who I'll have. I might have Pop on here on Thursday.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
That would be really good if maybe while you're cooking, Pop and I come back here and I just let him talk.
You can do the hour-long show?
Oh, maybe so, because Grandpa does like to talk. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And listen again on Thursday. I don't really know what we're going to talk about, but it ought to be interesting. So questions, comments, and all that stuff. You have to like our stuff, like our channel, subscribe to our channel. There, right? Subscribe
Yes.
to our channel, like our stuff, and share. Share, 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 please. Anybody that you know might be needing some flexible thinking, our episodes are good to listen to. So, join us Thursday. Right?
Bye.
There you go!